Welcome to another In Wheel Time podcast, a 30-minute mini version of the In Wheel Time car show that airs live every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central. Podcasting and streaming around the globe. Yeah, I like to say that.
I do. That's good.
It's kind of like that disastrous ABC Sports Open back in the 60s where the guy tumbles off the big
You do the tumbling down the ski.
Yeah, you do that.
And I'll be taking pictures of it.
This is the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show, brought to you by Mecum Auctions Houston at NRG Center, April 4th through the 6th. That's just next week.
Yeah.
Just ahead, Bay Area VW Club President Dave Saucier and a big bug bash. We're going to talk about that. Jeff has a feature on tires for your analysis and tire buying pleasure. That's all just ahead on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars. We always need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Thanks so much for joining us today. It's a beautiful day here in the Houston, Texas area.
Gorgeous day.
Yeah, it's a beautiful morning. Sun's out. Spring is in the air. Actually, it's almost summer is in the air.
Yeah.
We go from freezing cold, rainy, nasty weather to this. It's beautiful.
Beautiful day in the neighborhood, and none of us are wearing sweaters.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Maybe later on.
Yep.
Because we get chilled at our age.
Well, speak
I'm not
for
going
yourself.
Yeah.
All right. Dave Saucier is the president of the Bay Area VW Club. And Dave, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning to y'all. How are y'all?
Well, we're very well, thank you. And it's good to have you with us. Do you live in the Bay Area?
Yes, sir. Over here in LaPorte, Texas.
You're in LaPorte.
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Well, for those that are watching, streaming around the globe.
And don't have a map in front of them.
No, they don't. The Bay Area here in Houston is Galveston Bay.
Yes.
Not San Francisco Bay. Mm-hmm. So
right.
Just wanted to clarify
Tampa
that.
Bay or
any of those
Green
other
Bay.
Any of those other bays. Well, Dave, tell me about the Bay Area VW Club.
Certainly. It was formally founded in 1988, and our very first meeting was at, and I don't know if y'all might remember this, but the old Les Marks Chevrolet dealership meeting room off 146 and Spencer Highway, which is no longer in existence.
Yes, I remember exactly where that was because I was working at Richardson Chevrolet in Houston, and we did is what I call a dealer exchange, and I had to drive the car that we exchanged for their car over there at Les Marks. And back then, I think this was about 1969, 1970. Back then, our freeway system wasn't quite what it is today, and it took several hours to complete that task. But at any rate, yes, I remember it very well. And so, where do you guys have meetings? Do you do things like, let's get the secretary to talk about the minutes of the meeting.
Boy.
Please tell me. You do that?
Yes, sir, we do.
Now, you learned that in high school, Dave, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
Well, I don't go by that, but that's okay. If you guys want to talk about the last meeting, then that's fine. But so how many members of the VW Club down there?
We have around 20 to 25 members that do participate every month. We'll hold meetings every month, talk about past not problems, but issues. We talk about upcoming events, what we're going to participate in, preparations for shows and whatnot. It may not seem like a lot, but it is. And we only have a short hour and a half to complete our meetings every month. And that doesn't include what goes on in the background where we're not having our meetings. A lot of stuff goes on to make events happen, such as
beer drinking.
Bug Bash.
Yeah. So you got 20 to 25 folks that are in this club. What kind of issues do you have? I mean, there can't be anything drastic.
They have insecticide issues.
No, sir. No. What we're going to participate in, how much money are we going to spend on certain items that we're going to buy for the club or to hand out per se. It's that sort of thing. I like to say that we're I don't want to sound too bad, but we're just a individuals with Volkswagen problems. That's all.
Okay.
Well, I didn't know Volkswagens had any problems.
Yeah, I was going to say.
But
well, sir, they're more they're still kind of like an analog and digital world right now. That's what they are. You still have points to set. You still have spark plugs to gap. It's not without its problems, but that's the whole point in driving the car. You're one with the car. It's you are operating a vehicle of past technologies, basically.
well, we like that because we're kind of living in the past right here on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you had told me earlier that you have a 67 Bug, and you told me the reason that you chose the 67 to get into. Why don't you tell everybody what you told me about the 67?
Certainly, the 67 was the not the pinnacle year, but it is a sought after year because of the changes that were incorporated into the vehicle. First year 12 volt, it was still relying on the classic body lines with modern, I guess you'd say, modern 1967 changes. It is a crux between the two years, the late models and the early models.
Well, and you also told me that the 6-volt system was before 67, and they went to a 12-volt system in 67.
Absolutely correct.
Yeah.
Absolutely correct. A lot of people had problems with the headlights dimming. They turn on their windshield wipers in the rain, and the headlights would dim. Not the most ideal.
Yeah, exactly. Were the engines the same back then?
No, sir. The 67 was the first year and the only, I guess you could say not the only year, but the 1500 to 1.5 liter. Very reliable in stock form. If you're cutting 30 miles a gallon or more, you're doing pretty good.
So why Volkswagens? Why not another brand or another species of car, so to speak?
I blame my parents for this. When Dad got out of the Navy, they had a 1966 Volkswagen. And, of course, as being a young kid, 1-2 years old, pictures were taken with me behind the wheel in the cubby hole behind the rear seat. Oh. And that basically lit the fire. And ever since then, I've been hooked. Either you understand them or you don't.
Well, I will tell you this. I didn't have one, but I had the Bug Beater. I had the Chevrolet Corvair. So, and had many races with a bunch of friends of mine that had a Bug, and one in particular that was part of our little clique of car guys that. One of the guys had a 55 Chevrolet that he had souped up the engine in, and it was a loud beast, but non-competitive clearly with the Volkswagen and the Corvair. But I tell you what, we had a great time, and as you mentioned earlier, that it was fun because we didn't have any electronics per se, other than the distributor and the battery. That was about the extent of the electronics, and it was easy to work on. And tell me, I want to know more about your Bug. You say it's all stock?
Yes, sir.
Stock. Sir. So have you kind of shed the idea that you're not going to soup it up? You're not going to put on, some aftermarket air cleaner or exhaust system or something?
How do you soup it up? I mean, what do you do to get the horsepower, the add-ons?
The number one add-on item for anybody with an air-cooled Volkswagen is the exhaust, a better flowing exhaust. That would be the number one starter. But I prefer mine the way it is as it comes from the factory. It's more reliable. Parts are more readily accessible in stock form, and people appreciate it a lot more. Just recently, a group of us enthusiasts traveled Texas US 67 from Texarkana all the way to Presidio on the Mexico border.
Wow!
And I drove almost 2,000 miles trouble-free because of that. Yes, we had other people in buses that had problems overheating. I had none.
I'll be done.
And that's a testament to keeping it in stock form.
Yeah, I will tell you, speaking of non-stock form, I'll never forget going to the drag strip down there, not too far from you. Houston International Raceway, and
Yes,
it was a quarter-mile track. Are you familiar with that? Anyway,
yes, sir. I went down that track a time or two.
Yeah, and well, I'll never forget going there and seeing a Volkswagen run a 10-second quarter mile. The guy had a huge, a trumpet exhaust, one thing off the back end of that thing.
Yeah,
that stinger. And I mean,
that's
that
correct.
I have never in my entire life seen a Volkswagen go as fast as that one was. It was shocking. I thought, how cool is that? And
I bet it sounded like an angry swarm of bees.
That's exactly what it sounded like.
Bumblebee.
And I'll tell you what, I mean, he blew the doors off of his competitor on the other lane over there, and I will never forget that. And it was quite breathtaking because I had never seen anything like that before. But I do know that it had. Now, let me put it this way. The stock block in it, but he had souped it up as just such a method that I don't know what all he put back there, but it was all covered up. You couldn't see it, but it was a beast of a motor that went down the track screaming, as you can imagine. So I know that there's power to be had by doing some modifications to the engine. Yeah.
So
Yes, sir.
Dave, I want to get involved in a bug bash. I want to go out and get me a Volkswagen. Where do I go? What's the best place I can go look for a Volkswagen and get started with it? You go to Hemmings? You go to a used car lot? How do you do that?
Hemmings is good. Facebook Marketplace is a decent place to go. I don't think that they still make the Car Trader magazines anymore. Word of mouth is good.
Or knowing somebody in the Volkswagen club to help you.
Yes, sir. I get tasked a lot about being asked, hey, I'm interested in Volkswagen. Where can I find one? And generally, I know where one is for sale. It would be a Thing, a Bus, a Karmann Ghia. We get asked that a lot, and a lot of people will come onto our Facebook website page and ask if they can post up a car for sale. And there's a few on there, but the biggest caveat I tell everybody if they're going to buy one is a Volkswagen. Be sure to check the floor pans. Make sure they're not rusted out. That is the number one killer. Because replacing floor pans is not an easy task.
Yeah.
It can be done, but it's not easy.
You got to know what you're doing.
I got a friend of mine that owns and runs Pro-Am Auto Accessories, and he's got a VW Bug convertible that's not quite complete, but the body and all of the stuff, the metal work on the body is all complete. It looks really good.
Very nice.
I think it needs an engine, and I think that it needs an interior and a top.
But not much of it. I mean, it's all there. It's just got to be tweaked.
Yeah. So at any rate, if you know somebody, there you go. There's a tip for you.
Tell us.
I want to know. I was just going to say, I want to know about the Bay Area 34th Annual Monumental Bug Bash.
Yes, sir. The very first one was held in May of 1990 at the Mexican encampment at the San Jacinto Monument. And as we progressed through the years, relations were good. We donated thousands back to the park. When that park became a state historical site, that came with a new set of rules and policies, and they asked us to find another show site. So we sourced up the El Jardín Beach Park in Pasadena, Texas, which is an ideal site on the beach and nooked into a little neighborhood it's basically a hidden gem. And we hold it every year in May. It's free to spectators to come out. We have vendors, swap meters. If you wanted to show you Volkswagen, it's still relatively cheap to do. We give out the best ofs awards and the People's Choice. And with what money that we do generate, we give back to the neighborhood by means of adopting basically 5 families in the area, buying them gifts for the kids and also meals for the day. And that's what we've been doing for the long, long time.
Now, is it an open car show or is it just for bugs?
Strictly Volkswagens, be it either air-cooled or water-cooled.
Okay.
Wow.
And I could bring my Thing.
Yes, sir.
Pardon the pun. Or I could bring my Tiguan.
Yes, sir, you could.
Okay, just checking.
Yes, sir.
But it's got to be a VW. Well, that's
yes,
cool.
How many Twinkies you got to eat to win the contest? Because I see there's a Twinkie eating contest.
We we limit that to the kids,
and
they have to eat if they finish a whole box within 2.5 minutes, they are the clear winners. But the deal is you have to eat as many as you can in 2.5 minutes.
No peeps.
And those kids win a $25 gift card. And I always encourage the kids to have their mom or dad stop at the local corner store and buy more soda or sweets to go home in.
There you go. But no,
get them all
jacked up on sugar.
Exactly.
But no peeps. None of the yellow peeps or pink peeps.
No, none of that.
Okay.
Even though it's Easter weekend.
It is.
You could probably get them bargain basement style
The
next
stale
week.
ones.
The stale ones next week.
Day old peeps.
Well, it sounds like a ton of fun. So do you have a website where we can send people if they're interested in going and visiting the 34th Annual Monumental Bug Bash?
Yes, sir. We are limited to the Facebook page, the Bay Area VW Club.
Okay.
It is on Facebook. It is open to anybody that wants to join. We welcome everybody that would like to come see the show. It is a no drama show. We enjoy having everybody out there, and I truly enjoy visiting with old friends that come back to the show, that travel for miles out of town. Well, yes, I do love seeing the Volkswagens. I love visiting with people that I'm only limited to seeing once or twice a year and catching up. That's what I truly enjoy.
I want to know, do you have any souped up Volkswagen bugs down there at this show?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir, we do.
He says it with a sigh.
Oh, boy.
Yes, sir, we do. We have quite a number of individuals that have the high compression or the turbo or the superchargers. We do have those individuals, and you get to know them. They are a hoot to befriend with. They are something else.
No doubt.
Big ideas.
Yeah, big ideas in the love car. Dave Saucier, it's great to talk to you, my friend.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate y'all.
Thank you. Good luck, and we hope to hear from you again. Let us know how it goes.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thanks, Dave.
How fun.
Yeah.
All right. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is available 24/7 through the iHeartRadio app. Just look for In Wheel Time Car Talk. And a new daily podcast is available from your favorite podcast provider. Also, we video stream our 3-hour weekly live show on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show continues right after this quick break.
Pro-Am Auto Accessories has been serving Houston's auto enthusiasts since 1984, providing world-class products for sports cars, European sedans, and American muscle. Pro-Am is known as the place to go to find exclusive and hard-to-find parts and accessories. Pro-Am is one of the very first distributors in the USA for brands such as Recaro, Redline, Momo, Corbo, and Simpson. Located in the heart of Houston's premier retail and service corridor, the Galleria area, Pro-Am's walk-in storefront includes an 8,000-square-foot warehouse, showroom, and installation bays. Pro-Am not only sells parts and accessories, but also offers installation and service. Pro-Am is now reaching a worldwide audience through Pro-Am.com, taking its local reputation to the rest of the world. At Pro-Am Auto, you'll be dealing with a small group of professionals who truly want to help you with your automotive needs. If you don't see what you're looking for on the website, call and Pro-Am will lend you a hand. Pro-Am Auto, 6125 Richmond at Green Ridge in Houston's Galleria area. Call them at 713-781-7755. Want to feel good about something special you did for someone special? In Wheel Time and the original Lupi Tortilla group of Tex-Mex restaurants have joined together to help a very worthy cause, God's Garage, a Christian-based 501c3 charity. We know there are lots of places and organizations out there where you can donate a car, truck, or SUV, but we're asking you, our car enthusiast family, to consider donating to God's Garage. Visit godsgarage.org and learn about its mission, the women that have been helped, how each one is screened, and about their Restore You program. A car donation is an easy way to make a difference in the lives of others. God's Garage needs good operating vehicles, but will take all types in working and non-working condition. Make your heart and soul feel good by donating your gently used vehicle and help support single mothers, widows, and wives of deployed military at godsgarage.org.
Mecum Auctions, the world's largest collector car auction company, returns to Houston, Texas, April 4th through the 6th at NRG Center, featuring 1,000 muscle cars, Corvettes, trucks, customs, and more. Broadcast on Motor Trend TV and streaming live on Max. From avid collectors to those new to the Mecum experience, we welcome everyone. Register to bid now at Mecum.com.
Welcome back to the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. If you'd like to get in touch with us, shoot us an email. The address here is info@inwheeltime.com. All right. Got a feature story Jeff's going to get to in just a second here. Tire tutelage. Mm-hmm. Okay. But in the meantime, I've got a story that I wanted to start off with.
Go for it.
Electric vehicle owners are noticing vehicle tires wearing faster than those on gasoline-powered vehicles.
Yep.
And we touched on this a few weeks back.
We did.
That's according to J.D. Power 2024 U.S. Original Equipment Tire Customer Satisfaction Study. That's a long title for a study. Findings from the study highlight EV owners having less satisfaction with the durability of their tires, expecting them to wear similar to gasoline-powered vehicle tires. However, EV tires naturally wear quicker because of greater vehicle weight and higher torque. This gap in satisfaction creates an opportunity for tire manufacturers and automakers to ensure EV owners are properly educated, according to Ashley Egger, the Senior Director of Benchmarking and Alternative Mobility at J.D. Power. He says because of the inherent conflict of maximizing vehicle range and optimizing tire wear for EVs, tire manufacturers and automakers need to work together to overcome the challenge without completely sacrificing the performance in other areas, especially as the EV market continues to increase. EV tires also are an opportunity for dealer service departments. With fewer moving parts, EV service visits might mostly entail tire rotation and replacement and new wiper blades. In 2023 CDK Global White Paper, EV Service Today and Tomorrow, 18% of dealership leaders polled said tire maintenance would be the most common service concern for EV owners, tied for second with technical issues with the vehicle display system. 38% of those surveyed said they believed software issues would be the top concern. But U.S. Original Equipment Tire Customer Satisfaction Study assesses tire owner satisfaction in 4 areas: tire ride, tire wear, tire traction, handling, and tire appearance. So the EV tire situation is becoming an education for those people that have no clue what they're getting themselves into by buying an EV.
It's heavier.
So what are tires, EV tires made out of?
Rubber.
Which comes from?
Well, in our case, oil for the most part.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But we're going to put the oil world out of business. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
But
that's
the point of that story is the vehicles are heavier.
Absolutely.
It's the construction of the tire. You need better, stiffer, firmer sidewalls. The cross section of the tire doesn't matter, but that's tread, and that's part of the torque where you get that grip on the road, because you're between the seat of your pants and that road is a patch of tire. That's it.
Are we segueing into the next segment?
We can. You want to do that?
This is your segment.
Well, let's do that. There you go, Michael. How about that? So anyways, what do the tires mean? I mean, what do the numbers mean on the tires? Well, we're going to tell you. In a typical tire, you've got all these numbers on the side of the tire. You can see a picture of that if you're watching it on your big flat screen. Generally, you'll have a letter in front of the numbers, meaning like a P for passenger or an ST for special tire, LT for truck, light truck. But in this case, you're looking at it and you've got a 195/65 R15. What that means is that the 195 is the section width of the tire. It's actually the tread patch. It's where all the little grooves and things are on the tire from side to side, if you're looking at it face first. So that is the 205, well, the 195 in this case in millimeters. So it's 195 in millimeters. The 65 in this case is called the aspect ratio, and it's a 2-digit number, and that is actually a percentage of the sidewall, the height of the sidewall from the rim to the top of that tread. So that is the aspect. The R indicates what it is. It's a radial tire. B is for bias, D is for directional or digital directional tires. And then, of course, in this case, the 15 is the rim size. So that is the aspect ratio of the tire. In this case, it's a 195/65 radial tire, 15-inch rim. If you go further than that, you're going to see a load index of 91. 91 is actually what the pounds per square inch that tire can hold at its normal inflation rate. So the maximum inflation rate of a tire is probably around 44 to 45 pounds maximum, and you don't want to do that. That's just drastically inflated. So what you would do is you would take in this case, it is a 91, and if you take that 91 times 15, which is the rim size, you will get the pounds per square inch of that tire and what it'll hold so far as weight. And in this case, you're looking at right around 1,300 pounds at a 36 PSI pressure, which is the normal tire pressure for any tire. Generally, it's between 32 and 38, but in this case, we're just going to take an average of 36. You also have an H, which is the speed rating indicator. The H is produced by the Department of Transportation on what that tread will or that tire tread
how
will
they
take.
can spit it up.
Right. So there is a guide. You can look at guides, and the tire shops have those. And in this case, the H, in this case, the tire maximum speed rating is 130 miles an hour. And this goes from a low S, a Q, which is at 100, all the way up to a Z, which is more than 149 miles per hour. And I think, Don, you probably have a W or a Y on your Corvette tires, which are around 168 to 186 so far as a speed rating of that tire.
The car won't go that fast.
Well, but the tire will. Yeah.
So
it's made that way.
On that chart, so Q, almost all tires then should be able to cover up to 100 miles an hour.
Right.
I mean, not all cars will do that.
Well,
they got governors on them.
You're not going to have a 22-inch tire rated at a Q. It's going to be a small tire. It's going to be a 14 or 15-inch tire. So the lower the number, the smaller the diameter of the tire.
Okay.
So the higher
if you
the
go
number,
to 20s.
You go to 20s, you're probably looking at a V or a W or a Y, depending on the tire and what you want out of the tire.
Right.
You can get sticky tires, you can get non-sticky tires and things of that nature. Your imports, or what they call UHP, ultra high performance tires, are generally a stickier compound. They're made for road grip. You see them on a lot of imports. The Japanese domestic vehicles have those as well, the Kumos, the Yokohamas, and things of that nature. So then moving on to that, you'll see in this, you've got a 2119 little grouping there. That is actually the birth date of the tire. And in this case, if you're looking at the screen, that's a 2119. This tire was built the 21st week of 2019. So the first 2 digits of the week, the second 2 digits of the year it was manufactured. So if you're looking at a tire on a shelf somewhere, maybe you're at a tire store or maybe one of the big box stores, and you see, well, we're in the year 2024. If you see a tire that is 3523, that tire was built in the 35th week of 2023. I don't like to buy tires more than a year old if it's a shelf date. That's just me. Some people can go longer. Now, manufacturers say they can go up to 5 years. You can. I mean, if that's what they're recommending and if they're going to take the liability for that, that's fine. I don't buy tires unless if they're they have to be under a year old for me to buy them. Now, if they're on the shelf and they're going to give you a deal on that, yeah, the tire is still good. There's no problem with that. Now, if the tire is on your vehicle and it's 5 or 6 or 10 years old, remove it because they do wear out. The tire does degrade in the rubber manufacturing part of it. Your nylons and your rayons and things all hold up, but the actual rubber part of it will degrade on that. So there you go. Check it out. You got summer coming. You got spring coming. You got a lot of road trips. Look into your tires. Make sure they're good and solid.
So why did I get the look good tires off of my car? Because they the date on them
aged. Yeah, they're aged out.
Was it 10 years?
Well, they say 10. Some manufacturers go 10. Some say 8. I believe, being in the tire business for the years that I was involved in it, I wouldn't go past 5 to 6 years. Now, granted, depending on the car, if it's just a little grocery getter, you're going to use it on the weekends, just go back and forth to the soccer field or whatever. You could probably get away with that. If you're taking a long trip, no, I wouldn't recommend that. You're going on the hot rod tour of Texas. We're all going on that. If my tires were a little older, you got time to think about getting some new tires.
Well, I don't.
Well, I'm just saying,
just bought them 2 years ago.
And you got Run Flash, you got the bad boys of the group.
And my placard on my door says 30 PSI.
30 PSI. Okay. Well, then you're in that range. Just don't put 44 in it.
No.
Now, my dad, when we took his keys away from him, his tires were really old, but we didn't change them because he couldn't drive it more than 3 or 4 miles. And that only happened a couple of times a week. Yeah. So it's to your point.
Yeah.
if it was going any further than that, we'd have had to do something different.
I want to tell everybody that today's In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is sponsored by the group of original Loopy Tortilla restaurants in Houston, Beaumont, and College Station. Also, Gulf Coast Auto Shield and Pro-Am Auto Accessories. We continue our show right after this quick break.
The original group of Loopy Tortilla restaurants will have you telling your family and friends just what the original recipes mean when it comes to the best fajitas in Southeast Texas. Founder Stan Holt invites you to visit the original Loopy Tortilla near I-10 and Highway 6. Here's the original house that inspired the design of all the rest and the original charm that helped make Loopy Tortilla the go-to destination for Houston Tex-Mex. Speaking of original, nothing can compete with the original lime pepper marinade that everyone will agree makes Loopy Tortilla award-winning beef fajitas the best anywhere. Loopy Tortilla Katy is another location that gives you the same quality and service Houstonians have come to expect at Loopy's. It's located just off I-10 and the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard in Katy. Find yourself in Aggie Land? Head to the Loopy Tortilla in College Station, located just around the corner from Kyle Field. It's a great place to enjoy those famous frozen margaritas before or after the game. Headed east to Louisiana? Stop in at the Loopy Tortilla in Beaumont. It too's on I-10. You can't miss it. The original group of Loopy Tortilla restaurants invites you in for the best Tex-Mex anywhere. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com. That's it for this podcast episode of the In Wheel Time Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our InWheelTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart Podcast, Podcast Addict, TuneIn, Pandora, and Amazon Music. Keep listening, and we'll see you soon.